Hey, this is Rolf Versluis, also known as Block Ops, hosting the Zencash live stream. I'm hosting the technical side today, and so I'm going to hand off the presentation to Rob.
Hey guys, this is Rob Finpunk. As usual, the bi-weekly update for February 7th, 2018, and we have a lot of cool stuff going on. So let's just jump right to the big picture slide. So like I discussed last time, we're going to try to keep these a little bit shorter if we can. We actually had an interesting community poll that went out of whether or not we should even do these things bi-weekly or do them monthly, because they do take a lot of effort to put together. The team's really spun up for a while beforehand, but I think people want to see the biweekly, so we'll keep pressing with that. But we will try to truncate the time a little bit. Okay, so the big picture stuff that we have ongoing over the last 2 weeks. The first thing was we just executed a big organizational scaling, or even a reorganization within the team that we had, and we had some really nice high profile new hires, which is really good for us. We'll talk about details when we get to that part of the presentation. We have a bunch of development updates, and we have our usual secure node system update, and then we'll go through the marketing material and the regional activity at the end. Okay, so right up front, I'll say the biggest update that we have, and we've been keeping this kind of close hold for a while without trying to spill the beans, but we are really happy to announce our Okex listing. So this is a really major Hong Kong exchange. Depending on the day, they are often the biggest exchange in terms of trading volume in the world. So this is a really big deal for us. So I think someone just joined and has an open mic. Please mute yourself. Okay, cool. So one of the first things that we like to do is highlight our really active community members. So the two highlights we want to give a shout out to this week are to Peter Stewart helping out with the secure node management system, and John Carla, who's actually joining our team officially. He's at Cyrax in the forums, so helping out with secure nodes and just all over the place. Just an awesome guy who's been really pitching in where we need him. So thank you very much, guys. I love this community member highlights section because we have just an outstanding community, just people that chime in and help each other out when needed. So again, thank you very much. Okay, so the big thing that I've already mentioned was the new exchange listing with Okex. So this is a really big deal, and if you go into our coin market cap listing and you look at our trading volume, you'll see that we're already up there, we're already trading. But the really cool thing is we have 3 trading pairs with Okex. We have the usual BTC and Ethereum or Ether trading pair. But importantly, we now have a USDT trading pair. So this is a US dollar sort of proxy called Tether that a lot of exchanges are using to offer a US dollar type of fiat currency equivalent to the market. So this is our first USDT listing or trading pair. So that was really nice to see. Okex is a dominant exchange in the world. They've been around for a while. Their team's really awesome. It's actually been a big pleasure working with them. But they support over 20 million users in over 100 countries. So this is great, but we're not stopping with just a single listing. We're actually about to execute in 2 weeks a major marketing campaign with them to their traders. Okay, so the trading volume that you see right now going through Okex will probably, you can look at this 2 or 4 weeks from now, and will probably be significantly higher. Okay, so that's kind of our mantra going forward is whenever we get an exchange listing, we don't want to just kind of list and forget about it, walk away. We want to list and then actually capitalize on that really intelligently. So we want to support multiple marketing campaigns to make sure that the traders on these exchanges know who we are and actually start using and trading our currency pair. Okay, so moving right along because we want to keep a good pace here. We'll talk about the other really big thing going on this period was our organizational scaling. Okay, this is scaling and reorganization because we've gone from initially about 5 team members to now about 50 team members, and we're still growing rapidly. So we had to execute, or we had to start organizing because we had just a lot of talent on the team and not always effectively utilized. Okay, so basically, we had to have some structure so that we have people who are kind of leading certain functional areas, and they have teams that are dedicated to these functional areas. Now, of course, we're a very horizontal organization, so people help out across functional areas, and we have a great communication dialogue between the teams. But it's really important, though, to set up people who are kind of responsible for certain areas and people that directly support them. Okay, because now we can be massively more efficient and effective going forward, and you're already seeing it. With some of the projects that we're working concurrently, and especially on the business development side. Now that we have a dedicated team doing BD, things are really starting to accelerate. Okay, so this is great. Now we have actually 7 divisions that we've stood up. You see 6 of them here. Engineering is obviously a really core part of what we do. And within engineering, we have 3 departments between infrastructure, QA testing, and software development. We have, and Rolf's heading that up. And we have a user experience division head up by Gustavo. That's Rocket. He's handling all of our front end design. Actually, a really critical project that we're going to be talking a lot more about, which is our customer support division, or a customer support system that we're standing up, which is a first in the industry, and our web team. Then we've got our operations team that Rosario is heading up. So we have an internal ops team doing everything from systems, processes, procedures, our forum management, proposal management, event support, a whole bunch of stuff just to keep the operation smoothly functioning like an organization should, to kind of move away from this kind of chaotic process or system that a lot of these projects in the industry have. We have a program management office, a PMO, and also under ops, we have our legal support. So that's our legal team we have under there. We have our marketing team. Now we have quite a developed internal marketing team. We have CMH still supporting us critically. We have Waxman PR, and we also have a communications video production team, which is really cool. So we've actually gotten some really good feedback from the community on just the last couple months. Our marketing has significantly improved, and I completely concur. And now you'll see why, is because we've been structuring such an awesome team across just kind of like those business disciplines within marketing, and now they're starting to really effectively operate together. So that's really exciting for the project. We have our business development team head up by Rowan. Rowan's already hit the ground running and done such a great job with exchange outreach. So he's focused right now on just getting us out there onto every single exchange we possibly can. So this is something that the community's been kind of asking us for and kind of pushing for the last several months. And I completely sympathize, and we stood up a whole division to handle this. So within the business development division, we have our community support, our country managers, our country teams. So there's a lot going on there. And then actually what's not listed here, but is actually going to be a really critical part for our long sustainability and competitive edge, is we've stood up a science and research division. And right now I'm the interim head of the science and research division, but we're looking to staff this near term with a PhD researcher in a critical field, kind of like cryptography or computer science. So we have some people in mind that we're interviewing right now, and it's looking pretty good for a nice announcement in the near term. So the plan here is to have some really deep, long horizon planning for our research and development, to think about where should the technology go. And you can see this already with some of our R&D partnerships with IOHK. Right, we're doing some long lead or medium to long-term R&D that gives us a major competitive edge once these products actually hit the market. But we want to keep developing this. We don't want to stop there. So we want essentially or eventually a network of R&D partners around the world, from academic institutions to key industry partners like IOHK. Okay, and then finally, but not least, we have a finance division that has the typical budgeting, forecasting, tracking our expenditures, and we're bringing on a full-time accountant to run our accounting department. And this guy actually, if he joins the team, will be a really major acquisition for the project, because he's actually a certified fraud investigator and CPA. So we're trying to be the most transparent and open blockchain project in the world, and you can't get more transparent and more ethical than having a certified fraud investigator internal to your team. Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool stuff going on with the organization, and you're going to see this pay off hugely in the near future as we start really ramping up and becoming more effective. Okay, so I'm talking quite a bit. So actually, I talked through a lot of the slides here already in terms of meeting the directors and the team. So we could actually probably move forward. But you can see the director slide here. Meet the directors, where we've got Rolf, me, Gustavo, Rosario, Rowan, and we've got a couple other new hires that are in the pipeline that would provide some really senior leadership to the project. Okay, so let's move to the engineering division slide. So we've got two engineering division slides, because clearly engineering is a huge part of a cryptocurrency project. Okay, so Rolf is heading up this division, which is arguably a critical to the project. We have a software architect, senior software architect, who we got from another company where he was the CTO of that company. So he's going to be coming on to Zen and really taking a critical leadership role. We have our badass team of developers, starting with our friends out of Los Angeles. We've got Pierre, and we've got Frank, we've got Nicola. Now, these guys are doing an incredible job in terms of core blockchain updates, and I'll talk about that with the developer updates. They're managing our core development. They're working on some key projects like Zen Hub. They're refactoring wallets, doing amazing front-end GUI redesigns, which would be really nice, super professional products in the near future for you guys. And then we have a whole bunch of other incredible engineers supporting different projects. Joseph Nicholas is a really cool new hire for us. He's based out of the Philippines and soon to be Singapore, but he has a tremendous amount of experience C++ and on the hardware side. So that's really good for us, especially when we're thinking about hardware device integration. You guys should know Will Wolf. So he's been actually kind of in the background, but he's helping out with our peer review processes and just our development processes. So that's a really big thing. Anarch 3, critical member of the community from the beginning. So he's still one of our key anonymous developers who's helping out with some of our core infrastructure projects. Like, for instance, you guys probably know or don't know, but he's the guy who runs our Block Explorer and some other key projects like that. Alan Dumaine, he's always the fun secure node update guy. So you'll hear more from him in a bit. Kendrick has been an incredible contributor to the project on the development side with our wallets and our Zencash.js library. We've got Wayne working on the Ledger wallet with the team there, and we've got Lucas, who's the Horizen mastermind. So we have a really, really good engineering team here, and we're looking to continuously grow it. But I think right now we have a solid team to be able to execute on our roadmap. Now, going to the second engineering slide, we have our infrastructure manager, Chronic. So he's been a tremendous contributor to this project from the very beginning. He's one of our key go-to guys whenever even I have a problem. He's like one of the first guys that I turn to for it. So he manages our key infrastructure, our server clusters, and just a critical member of the team to be doing just some of our most important development tasks. And within the infrastructure team, you've got our infrastructure and QA guys. So we've got James McCord, or Mac, who's his contributions already, or just in the last month, have been tremendous in helping us set up, some of our key infrastructure, including our customer support system. Jake, who's been with us from the beginning, he's always around on the forums, helping people out. We've got John Carlo, I already mentioned. So Cyrax, he's been tremendous helping out on the secure node side. So we decided let's bring this guy who's a key contributor onto the team officially. So that was really nice. And Spencer, who has just been doing so much for the project, especially with outreach in the southeast of the United States, but he's also an IT and QA guy. So we're really happy to have him on the team. Okay, so going to our user experience division, we've got, this is just a key focus for us in the first quarter of 2018, is to make sure that we are absolutely dedicated to our customers, our users. And now this goes from everything from our website, our first point of contact for a lot of people. So we've been doing some really big web updates, and we have the latest and greatest version going live next week. If not this week, I'm not sure. We'll have to talk to those guys. But really good stuff. I love where the website's gone. You see a preview, kind of the landing page is the new design currently, but we still have some of the side pages that are being updated, and you'll see that released near term. But our commitment to our user goes is key through our customer support division. So we're actually standing up a customer support team is dedicated to helping users. So there's more we'll talk about there. We've got Jonathan Dumaine, that's Dom in the forums, who's been helping out on the front end. And Vitalik is a new guy we're bringing onto the team. Just a tremendous amount of business experience and user experience background. So great for us to really scour the market and think about what are the best products on the market and how can we make them better. Okay, so the marketing and ops team, this is actually, like I said, we've had some really, really nice feedback from the community in the last couple of months about our marketing team. Rosario's done an incredible job just organizing everything and organizing just multiple teams within the marketing and operations divisions. So we have Lucy Bruce brought on full-time now as a senior marketer in-house. We've got Ross Kenyon, who has a tremendous amount of experience on other crypto projects, some high-profile ones like Tezos, and some really nice social impact ones like Nori. We've got Linda, who's been doing some great graphic design for us already. Marco, great graphic designs. Philippe actually has stepped up from being supporting member of the German team to now running the German team and then also helping out on the operations side. So really happy to have him there. Madar has been prolific with this team since the beginning. He's the guy who basically runs our Bitcoin talk thread, but it helps out across the board for key marketing campaigns, especially on Twitter. Now, Crypto Media Hub, we can't say enough good stuff about them. The team that Tatiana and Callie run, and Waxman PR, love those guys who really help us with some just really high-profile professional journalist engagements. And whenever we have a big release hitting the market, the Waxman team has always done an incredible job in getting it out there to the world. And our legal team falls under the operations division, which is our Cogent Law. So we've got Adela and Evan on that team that have been helping us out a lot in professionalizing our legal infrastructure. Okay, guys. So business development being head up by Rowan. Rowan is just a hard charger who's been doing it, just kind of an outstanding, remarkable member of our team from the beginning, which is why we elevated him to a key role of director of business development. So under that falls our country team. So we've got 3 regional heads right now officially, with a 4th one being onboarded. So the 3 regional guys, David, you guys all know him. He's just all over the team and the project, just helping out in just the most critical areas. Always way exceeding any expectations that even I have optimistically. We've got Arno, who's now going to be heading up our Northern European operations. Andreas, who's our Scandinavian regional lead. And then under business development, we have Jane is doing a critical university outreach program, which I think is going to have tremendous dividends in the long term for us to be able to interact with student organizations around the world, as well as academic researchers. So that's actually a critical role for us. Really happy to have Jane taking lead on that. And then we've got the other country team members that you guys hear from every week: Angie, Luca, Saeed in Turkey, Taiga, Sebastian in Japan, Ruben helping out Angie in Mexico, Hugh in Kenya, and Alex in Russia are all members that we're really happy to have on the team and doing a great job. So the second slide for business development, this team is so large, we just extended to a second slide here, but you've got Jin, who's kind of our senior China advisor. We have another country lead in China that we're working to onboard right now. Anson in Hong Kong. We've got Adnan in Australia, and we've got Jose in Portugal. So really impressive team there. Okay, guys. So I've talked quite a bit about the team and the reorg because it really is a very big deal for the project. So I wanted to go into detail about what's been going on in the background and why some of the key areas of the project, like marketing, you're seeing a lot more happen these days. And on business development, we're being so much more effective. Even on our engineering side, now that we're starting to organize, this project is going to be accelerating quite a bit. We decided to take the time to make sure that we get the organization and the team right, and now we can start charging forward. Not that we haven't already, because just from our bi-weeklies, there's always a ton going on. But okay, so now moving on to the development side, we've got 2 slides here. So the first item is the website. I mentioned we're in process of creating and updating the pages, and we're introducing a nice translation framework so that now we can, instead of having to do manual translations on the site, we're going to be able to have an automated translation mechanism that then we can go back and QC after that. So expect these really good website, this really awesome website to be released next week. Then we have a cool tipping bot that Robin put together that will be released on Discord. Let's see, I think it's being Chronic is actually working that into our infrastructure right now, which was supposed to go live maybe later today, but certainly by the end of this week. So that'd be fun. Whenever you see an outstanding member of the community, we can tip them directly. So that'd be a cool kind of community engagement thing. The deal for the project, the Ledger team continues to plug away, and they're making significant progress. And actually, Joseph Nicholas has just joined that team to really knock out the integration, since he has a great C++ and hardware background. So that should be a quick deal now that we have the right team in place. Secure node architecture review. So we have a whole secure node slide. So I'll leave Alan to talk about that. But really, the architecture review is we have some of our other engineering engineers working on kind of reviewing and optimizing the architecture and planning the next V2, the next version of this architecture. And the exciting things that I can say right now about V2 for secure nodes is that we're going to be moving, at minimum, the tracking system into the protocol. Okay, so instead of having kind of server clusters around the world that have their own latency and uptime issues, now we're going to be looking at migrating this entire system into the protocol. Now, the second thing we might be able to do, which is still TBD, is whether or not we put the payment system directly into the protocol, or if we leave that outside, external, off-chain the way it is right now, but just continue to optimize that. So that's what you should expect when we release our specs for the V2. So we have some engineers working on that right now. We've been refactoring the wallets and giving them kind of what we're thinking is a consistent user feel and experience, so that there isn't this kind of disconnect between, say, like our Swing, our full node client, and the Horizen client. Some people love one, some people absolutely love the other, and they're both great products. But we're thinking about having a flagship kind of universal wallet that goes from the desktop to the web wallet to mobile client, and it's all built on the same framework and all has a consistent user experience and feel. So I'm very excited about that project. We also have another wallet project in the works, which we'll talk about more probably the next time or the time after that. It's a super simple, it's a wallet that's designed for new users to cryptocurrency. So it's going to be a multi-coin wallet with Zen as the backbone, and with a built-in exchange into the wallet. So this is really for the people that don't know anything about cryptocurrency, who don't want to worry about managing keys and losing their keys. So this wallet, we have a crack team working right now that they're just moved from the design phase. Now they're working on the actual development phase. So there's more to come on that wallet. Now, blockchain improvements, this is what Pierre, Franck, and their team are working on. These guys are really, really effective hard chargers on the development front. So in just the last 2 weeks, they've done 6 updates from Zcash, incorporated that into our blockchain, along with some other key improvements, such as putting back in our null transaction function so that we can include arbitrary data to the chain, which is key then for other applications. Like I mentioned this months ago, but we're working a project with a partner, a PGP encryption service partner, to be able to host their clients' public keys on our chain. And we need this null transaction function to be in the protocol so that we can actually include arbitrary data and retrieve arbitrary data from the chain. Okay, so that's amazing work that these guys are doing on the improvement side for the core blockchain. So really happy with the work that they're doing. So what Mac and Gustavo have been working on is something that we're calling Zen Help, which is our service desk system. So we can go to the next slide, which is the second development slide, and talks about the service desk system. So what I can say here for the motivation is we are absolutely dedicated to our users. Now, we have a really cool team, and everyone here, cares for our community, and we've been trying to keep up as best we can with answering, service requests. But it's not good enough. It can't be so haphazard. It can't be chaotic, and we have to have consistency on how we respond to users, and just a so much better, like order of magnitude improvement in just user experience. So that starts with the products. But then it extends next into a dedicated service desk system where we're going to have 24/7 support for our community. Okay, so Mac did an incredible job now building the infrastructure in Jira, which is a wonderful ticketing system. Now, the ticketing system is going to roll, it's a professional grade service that's going to roll common lessons learned or common issues that we find from the ticketing system into a comprehensive knowledge base and FAQ system. So these things are going to be integrated, and they're going to be dynamic, and we're going to have dedicated team members from all of our functional areas, responding to the system real time. So we're going to try to set industry standards now for how we respond to service requests and how we just take care of our users in our community. Okay, so this is a really big deal. I have to say, and foot stomp this, this is the first in the industry for a 24/7 customer support system for a public blockchain project, a cryptocurrency project. Okay, other projects have knowledge bases, and that's great. You absolutely need that. That's the first stop for user issues. But having dedicated support to make sure that there's a human being responding to our users in near real time, this is a really big deal. Okay, so I've been talking enough. We have the secure node updates. What I'll say is congratulations to the community now. We have over 6,700 secure nodes on the system. So I think we are fast approaching the most decentralized node architecture in the world, or at least on the cryptocurrency side. I think we're giving Bitcoin a run for its money. So Alan, are you on the line to jump in here and give the secure node updates?
Yes, I am. I don't know if I can talk as fast as you, but I'll try.
No, please slow it down, please.
Okay, on the credit system, we've been working on splicing that into the current payment system, and we've got that deployed yesterday, and we're still testing it on the beta service. And we're going to be combining that with the claim process that Rob was just talking about, having the ability to fill out a form for a particular period where you may have missed a payment and submit that form, and that'll get processed and a credit will be issued for it. I'd also like to say that we processed a bunch of more payments on Monday, and that went fairly well. We're still tweaking that just a little bit, but we're getting all of the payments out on a weekly basis now. We are working on the architecture some more, some scalability things that we'll be focusing on next. We're also still zeroing in on these downtimes that are appearing once in a while. I got a bunch more logging that went into the server update that just went out yesterday, and we're trying to tie those down. The payment process is set up to go daily, although there are times where I'll be enabling it and disabling it depending on pushing updates out and things like that. But you'll see it more on a more consistent basis in the near future. We also want to enforce the tracker version of the new 0.2.1 that's been out. There are still a bunch of old nodes out there running 0.1.0, and those need to be updated. So we're probably going to pick a date, maybe next week sometime, and just say you need to be updated by then, because they've had plenty of time to update. And we will start enforcing an exception. They won't get paid after a certain date. The other thing we need to do with this version is based on this newer version, is balance out the servers. We've got some servers that have a lot of nodes on them and others that have fewer nodes, so we want to be able to move those, and we can now do that with this latest version from the administration panel that is on the servers. These diagrams here, I did not put them here, but I will say that the payment system, if you look at these images, is kind of a centralized system. It's like a mining pool running in parallel with the decentralized node infrastructure. So it's really completely separate for those of you who haven't looked at it this way before. And that's about it for right now. Rob?
Cool. Thank you, Alan. And I just want to mention the credit system that you're talking about. So this is something that we've had these phantom downtime issues and people having some issues with their nodes being credited. So what Alan's been doing, which I think is awesome and just shows our commitment to the community, is he's been taking a good amount of time to put together a detailed analysis of who has exhibited downtimes. And we're working on now getting this kind of catch-up payment out to these people just to give them the benefit of the doubt and to make sure that we actually take care of our community. So thank you, Alan, for all the work you've been doing on that. And
Okay.
let's see. So Lauren from CMH, do you want to give us a run through the marketing updates?
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I wanted to quickly introduce myself. I'm a new member of the CMH team, and just going through the marketing slides briefly today, we wanted to start with our analytics. The website analytics have increased by 10%, which is great, and it's really, really nice to see an organic increase since it was a soft launch. Functioning website is live. We'll begin promoting it excessively. With Twitter, we have 4,800 new followers, which is also fantastic, 4,000 retweets, 15,000 engagements, and this includes likes, shares, comments, etc. To keep it going, we'll say this every time, please continue to follow us at Zencash Official. Moving on to Facebook, there is a bit of news there. We do have 308 new fans. We have 1,871 new follows. But due to the new ad regulations, which I'm sure most of you have heard about, even briefly, they're banning any ads regarding finance, ICO, and cryptocurrency. So right now, Facebook ads are on hold. We've been in touch and spoken with a Facebook representative. They're looking to see if there's any possible way around it, as it does seem to have a negative impact on the post performance and the business page growth too. So we really hope to have an update by the next bi-weekly call regarding that. Also, please help us to organically grow that page by liking, sharing, and commenting. Our email newsletter is doing really, really well. We're at 16% above average open rate. We have 12,000 subscribers since April 2017, and the average subscribe rate is 82,500%. In further good news with the email newsletter, the new website will allow subscribers to choose their language and their location to segment our subscriber list into their local languages. So that's really, really exciting. If you haven't subscribed, please go to zencash.com and subscribe. I think we can move on to the next slide. I hope I'm not speaking too quickly. And I don't think it's, there we go. Rob is going to be doing a Reddit AMA on February 13th, so definitely be sure to check that out. We'll be posting a lot about that as reminders. We also have some pretty cool news with podcasts. In addition to some current podcasts we're connected with, we've also linked up with some new ones that are really in line with Zencash, and just wanted to run through them a little bit. We're going to start with Voskcoin, who is a YouTuber. Vosk has followed the project from the beginning and was part of the community from the start. So we're really happy to have Vosk and Tails as part of Zencash and look forward to his continued review of the project. He has some really good reviews on there. We're also going to be working with FPP Radio News, and that includes the Daryl Perry 5-minute newscast, the Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, and we've also added the Lava Flow podcast. These podcast sponsorships will be introducing Zen to approximately 5,500 podcast listeners each week. So that's a wide audience. It's great news there. We have also linked up with Why Bitcoin magazine, and this is a publication that targets high-profile conferences and investors, so that's great for us. We are going to have a full-page premium placement and an executive profile article. And on the CMH side as well, we have a new senior graphic designer. He has over 10 years experience in TV and video, which we love. So you are about to see a lot more video content. And kind of piggybacking on that, is creating a series of short videos about Zen. They're working on them right now, and you will see these promoted all over the place very soon. So stay tuned for our new 1-minute What is Zen infomercial that will actually be at the end of this call. And I think that's about it for now, but good stuff going on.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. It's always good to see just kind of the figures and see how they're growing. So thank you. And okay, so moving on to the country lead updates. So first of all, I love this map where you can see where we are in the world. So right now we have 12 countries covered, but we're growing. And now that we're in these countries, we're looking to build up critical infrastructure and really start ramping up outreach. So lo and behold, let's pass it off to David. Are you available to give your Russia Eastern European update?
Yes, sir, I am. And it is a very rainy day here in Colombia, and I hope my voice is not muffled by the rain hitting on the windows. Well, before I talked about Russia, I really want to take a minute and give a really wholehearted thank to our community members, to all the Zenners who showed an amazing support in the past few days. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I mean, you guys all know this past few days, because of all the regulatory uncertainties, cryptos were kind of in a relative downturn. And while we don't like to talk about the price, and especially in short term, and this is not about the price, what it really showed me is who the holders are for the Zen. Those were the guys who believed in a long-term prospect of the platform. And it was amazing. I was seeing all these, most of the competitors and altcoins going down, and Zen was holding pretty good. And anytime it would dip down, somebody would come in and say, "Hey, I'm not letting this deal go. I'm gonna, jump in and get while I can." And we narrowed the gap to most of the other competitors who used to be, up in the billions of dollars of market. Now, again, I'm not happy anybody not doing well, but I'm really glad to see who our stakeholders are. And again, I wanted to thank you for that. As far as Russian market update, we also have had quite a successful Facebook campaign, I would say, over the last 2 weeks before Mr. Zuckerberg decided to kind of cut off the advertisement channels to everything that was under crypto or under Bitcoin and whatnot. We went from 58 followers to 1,200. Not quite as good as our worldwide team, but try to get close there. And those are specifically the crypto savvy people who are following Bitcoin, blockchain, and all that stuff. So we don't just have the followers. We're actually having daily and several times a day posts in Russian. That is mostly the same content as everyone else is getting in English, but tailored towards the CIS countries. But also we post some original content. The next cool little projects that we have going on is a Zen Money bot. And as Alan was talking about, when you guys get your, so to speak, paycheck from your secure nodes, what the Zenmon bot can do is basically give you notifications. Hey, you got money deposited on your account. But even more helpful feature than that, right now we're working on downtime notification that's in progress. Hopefully you won't need to use it too often because we're not planning to have much downtime. But again, it's something neat little tool to have. And I wanted to emphasize one small detail about this whole experience with working with Vladimir, who is actually the guy who developed, one of our community members who developed the bot. Like last night, I'm getting, he's also working on ARC. And he messages me at like 9 p.m. Eastern time and say, "Hey, I'm sorry to bother you, this late, 9 p.m. where I am, and I'm, almost complete with ARC, and I'm trying to run the test version of it and this and that." I'm like, "Dude, it's 9 p.m. here, but it's 4 a.m. there. Go to sleep. You can finish it tomorrow." So these kind of small details really show me how much the community trusts in us and how much they enjoy working on Zen. So again, special thanks to Vladimir. And last, as I mentioned, is well, it's not the last, but last on the small slide that they give me is Arc integration. As most of you know, Arc is kind of like a connecting bridge to between different blockchains that could integrate functions of, for example, Ethereum smart contracts and do them through Zen, holding Zen, and also you can create the trading pairs with other cryptocurrencies that also have the Arc bridge. And I think that's all for now. I'll pass on to the next person, Rob.
Thank you, Davi. I have to say, I'm in particular very excited about the Arc integration. So you guys are doing an awesome job with that. Okay, cool. German market update. Let's see. I think Arno is not available today. So if Arno and Philippe are not here, I'll just run with this update. So, okay. So what we have going on in the German market is we have a crypto asset conference in Frankfurt on the 26th and 27th of this month, and I'll actually be a keynote speaker there. So I'll be hanging out with our German team. Really excited for that. And it's always nice to get more exposure to the project. There's a blockchain spring school in Mittweida on the 7th of March, which is a 45-minute presentation at an evening meetup group there. And Zencash organization reached Team Germany, a reorganization, in Team Germany. What this is Arno is actually stepping up to be the Northern European lead, our regional manager. And Philippe, who's been helping out on the German team, is now going to be taking the reins with being the German country manager, as well as helping out on our operations team. So good stuff going on there. And let's see, Luca, are you on to talk about the Italian market updates?
Hi, can you hear me? Yes.
Ciao, Luca.
Yes. Hi, ciao Roberto. So I'm literally taking a plane right now. I'm climbing the stairs, but I hope I can give you this update. So basically, for these 2 weeks, I would like to give my congratulations to everybody for setting up all the secure nodes in order to let the Italians do it even better. I have translated the entire secure node guide, which is now available on our blog. So I invite everybody in checking it out, everybody in my community. And a special thanks goes to Rolf for the support in letting me doing it and posting it. So also we are translating the Italian newsletters. The Zencash newsletter Italian. Another thing I really encourage you to subscribe to in order to receive it to your inbox. And also this website is being translated now. Yeah, I think it's getting more and more. Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So the website is being translated. I think I'm like at 50% of the entire translation. So very soon, I hope it will be also in Italian. With the Italian community, there is this issue that the English language is not very commonly spoken. So everything needs to be translated if we want to reach out to everybody. And in order to reach out to everybody, I'm visiting all the universities in north of Italy. I was in the Bologna University, which is the oldest university in the world. It has almost 1,000 years. I met very curious people. So they were doing a lot of questions because, of course, everybody's interested in cryptocurrencies projects right now. So it was a great time there. I'm also gathering interviews for the next weeks in order to respond to them. If you want, you can already read the past interviews I answered to. They will also be published on the Italian part of the blog. And finally, I'm going to attend the Crypto Investor Show in March in London. I would like to give you already this notice. The reason is multiple. Let's say London is the 5th Italian city because it has more than 250,000 inhabitants there. But also it will be a chance to meet with some other part of the team. So I hope it will be very cool to meet you guys over there. And that's it, Rob. Back to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Luca. Enjoy your flight. Hopefully, it's a good one.
Thank you.
Cool. Andreas, are you available to give the Scandinavian update? Okay. Andreas, if you can chime in, you can do so at any point, but I'm not hearing you, so I guess I'll get started on your slide. Okay, so let's see. So present at the Cryptosaur. My pronunciation is going to be a little bit off. The Cryptosaur meetup yesterday with 50 people attending, talking about Zen Cash. That's always a good thing. And having a Zen Cash presentation next time to this meetup, and working on building a Scandinavian team, which already has 5 people on it. So that's really cool. Andreas, if you can chime in, that would be great to talk about them. But certainly if you're having mic issues, that's not a problem. And working the usual kind of social media, marketing, Twitter, and Facebook infrastructure for us in Scandinavia. So that's always a key part of just outreach and just making the project better known. Okay, cool. So, Angie, are you available to give the Mexican and Latin American market update?
Hi there. Hey, y'all. Yes, I am. Well,
Awesome.
Hello to everyone. I hope you're doing great. No matter where in the world you are. Right now, it's also a rainy day here in Mexico, but still with a lot of energy and a lot of cool things coming up from the updates. Well, I'll try to be very quick. First of all, we're going to be attending an Acapulco this next February from 15 till the 18th. So we're having a little booth in there. We're going to be there talking with our people, the community, having a lot of surprises there. So we hope to see you guys in there. I know that a lot of people is attending, so that's going to be such a cool and great event to attend to. We're going to be having a little sponsorship there, as I told. So that's going to be great, and see how it goes to bring all of the Latin American communities together, because this is a very important event in Mexico. So let's see how it goes. And also, I wanted to announce there's going to be a possible attendance to Panama City for an event called Panama Glass, which is taking place in February 22 to the 25. And this is kind of an event for kind of like see and review the financial system of Panama, transparency issues and things like that. So it's going to be excited also to see the possibility to attend. Articles. Well, we had the pleasure to work in building a Spanish article for zenlivenews.com. And David was also being quite of a lot of help with us from to build this article with Spanish. We published that in there, so we hope to have a lot of Spanish content in the webpage. So it's going to be awesome. About the reorganization, we're also trying to help a little bit and with the support in different kind of areas. We thought it's going to be cool to have our internal strategies and formats to kind of like bring always the best of us to the community, to the people supporting Zencash, which is always great. So we want to kind of like build this to get us stronger, and of course always offering the best to our community and support them. And also social media, very quickly, we're having 500 organic followers on Instagram, which is pretty great. But the Facebook page seems to be running a little slower. Maybe some advices that I can get later from my fellow regional country guys I can take care of to kind of like improve, or also from the global team of the Facebook page. That would be awesome. But we're not in that road. Always so excited to grow and to bring more content, more getting involved the Spanish and Latin American communities. So I guess that's it. So we'll see you guys soon in the events taking place here in Mexico and in Panama maybe. And that's it. Thank you all for listening. Have a great one.
Thank you, Angie. So let's see. Next up is the Japanese market. I don't believe that Taiga or Sebastian are online. If you are, you can just chime in. Otherwise, I'll speak quickly to the slide. So we have a bunch of translations ongoing for website and technical documentation. That's always really important. We have, the Japanese Twitter account now has over 100 followers. That's great. So I love to see that we have these different regional and country, social media accounts popping up, and they're all growing, which is nice to see. They have a Facebook page, and a really potentially high impact thing is they're having conversations with the Japanese marketer right now. So getting some professional marketing in Japan, I think, will be a really big step for the project. So I'm excited to see more about that. And they will be attending the Tokyo FinTech Meetup, the 12th one, going on later this month. So good stuff there. And let's see. Okay, so moving now to upcoming events and conferences. So as Angie mentioned, we're going to have a presence in Acapulco. That's cool. I wish I was able to attend myself, but Angie and Ruben will be doing that. I will be in Boston, in Cambridge, giving a talk about Spectre and DAG-based technologies at a Cambridge blockchain meetup. And we have Rolf and Angie and the team there attending Panama Glass, the 22nd to 25th of February. And we have a crypto assets conference in Frankfurt that I'll be attending and giving a keynote speech at the 26th and 27th. And then we have Rolf and I will be attending the Seraph Global Investment Group meetup in Austin, talking about Zen Cash. And there's the Crypto Investor Show in London on March 10th that I'll be speaking at and attending with our UK team. And fortunately, Luca will be able to attend as well. So we'll have a nice Zen Cash presence in London early next month.
Hey, Rob, this is Rolf. Andreas just messaged me, said he's got his mic going. I was thinking maybe we go back to the Nordic update.
Heck yeah, sounds great.
All right. Hi, everybody. Sorry about the microphone problems. Here's a short update on the Scandinavian market. Yesterday, I was present at the Crypto Sør meetup in Kristiansand, Norway, which was a great evening. It was a great event where about 50 people showed up to hear about crypto and blockchain in general, and I got to talk to lots of nice people about Zencash, and I must say that the enthusiasm they showed me was really inspiring. This is a monthly event, and next month I will most likely do a Zencash presentation from the stage here at this event here in Kristiansand. The other thing, I'm currently assembling a Scandinavian team. I now have 5 highly skilled guys who are ready to jump on board, and I hope to give you a presentation of them at the next bi-weekly update. This is really exciting, and I really look forward to tell you all about what's going on here with these guys. Also, a little shout out: if you're located in Denmark and would like to help out on the team, please get in touch with me by email or on Discord. Also, I encourage all Scandinavians to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and on Discord, the Discord channel here. All right, thanks. Back to you, Rob.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Andreas. And likewise, I'm looking forward to hearing more about your team that you're assembling there. That's really cool. And okay, so I think we're at the end of the slide deck that we had prepped for today. So why don't we do Q&A first, and then we have a cool video that we can talk about after that. So let's see, what questions do we have from the community? Rolf, have you been monitoring the chat?
Let's see. I did see one in the YouTube feed just a little bit further up that was asking about a credit system. Where can folks on the secure node enter the stuff into the credit system? And the credit system is being worked on, and the right place to ask for secure node credits is going to be in the help system that we're launching, because we'll be able to go through and do ticketing. So this is all getting better and better every week, and we're having progress every week, but we don't have a way to individually go through and do credits for all the potential thousands of daily issues on the nodes right yet. So just wanted to clarify that part.
Cool. Okay, so we have a question from Shivix, Sander. Let's see, when is Bittrex updating the Zencash logo? So I don't know. I know that they are extremely busy. So the good news is Bittrex just reopened new accounts on for new members can open up accounts on Bittrex. So that's really good news. So I know that they were really spun up with handling their own internal infrastructure upgrade. So when they get to our logo, I can't say, but we certainly did submit it to them as soon as we released it across all the other platforms. So I'll ping them again and see what the delay is. So I agree, it could be confusing to new buyers or people coming into contact with Zen.
Yeah, and we have a private Slack with them also, and we've also talked and asked for them in the private Slack. Just like you said, Rob, they're very busy, and they'll get it done at some point. And
okay, so sorry, Rob.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just reading from the thread here. So a question was new accounts for all or just for clients? Actually, I don't know. Do you know, Rolf? I thought it was for everyone.
Or, I'm sorry, say that again.
You know how Bittrex, just started accepting new accounts again?
Oh yeah, I think I read that they were going to have maybe a minimum deposit requirement, so that I think they just don't want to be overwhelmed, perhaps, with really small deposits. I don't know. At least they're opening things up. So that's
okay.
and we're continuing to work on adding exchanges. That's a common question that I see in the. You're a little closer to adding exchanges than I am, Rob. Do you want to maybe address what our goal is on that type of stuff?
On the exchange outreach stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I know you're working all the time to add probably 10, 15, 50, or 100 exchanges, and it takes a while. I just, you might want to talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, totally. So I wish I could take credit, but the reality is Rowan's actually heading our new exchange listing activities these days, and he's doing a phenomenal job. So we have conversations started with about half a dozen other exchanges right now ongoing. But one important thing with new exchange listings is you sign an NDA with them and you don't talk about it before you actually get listing. I mean, that's just bad business practice to begin with. So we're not the hype type of project. We're not going to go out there and start releasing information ahead of the fact just to boost our price. So what I can say is everyone be patient. We have some really good, new exchange listing outreach going on. Now, our goal clearly is we want to be listed on every single cryptocurrency exchange in the world, and we take that seriously. So that's ongoing right now, and we have a dedicated team for it. But Rolf, there's another question here that I think is really, really pertinent, and you're probably the guy, the expert on this, but about the whole dominance of Supernova on the mining pool and how they just hit 50% of our hash power.
Yeah, Supernova added Zen very early on, and we talk with OC Miner there regularly, and they've always been a great supporter of Zen Cash. 50%, there could be a potential attack on the blockchain when that happens. I think that my personal feeling is sometimes I see that people rent nice hash power and just point it at Supernova, and those aren't necessarily people that run a few miners and are more open to running miners on smaller pools. But we do have a bunch of distributed pools worldwide, and I'll say as a miner myself, in a lot of cases, it's worth mining to one of your local pools, especially somebody that is able to give you support if you have any types of questions. So encourage lots of different pools. And we also are working to make it easier for people to set up pools. One of the things, if we haven't added it to the Trello roadmap yet, we should, is to do a P2Pool version of the Zencash mining pool software. So P2Pool is a decentralized mining pool algorithm that lets pretty much anybody set up a P2Pool server, and then no matter how many miners they have, it gets into the whole system. So I think when you have that type of ability to set up, then even someone who's running 1 or 2 miners can set up their own pool and have really low latency to a local P2Pool server. So we'll be able to spread that hash around. It's not something I'm worried about, but we do want to be able to have mining hash power distributed in a decentralized fashion as much as possible.
So actually, I want to get the community's feel for what do people think about us setting up our own foundation mining pool, something that we have control over that we can modulate. Basically, whenever we see a pool kind of approaching the 50% mark, we can kind of increase new miners into the pool or decrease it if we're not really as needed.
I mean, yeah, we should definitely ask about that. I think it'd be more powerful to have miners that we could point at different pools.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think our mining is good now, and I do appreciate all the miners that are currently mining Zen. That's for sure. I think everybody does.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So another question we have is using the secure node network to basically rent out our secure node network spare capacity. So basically, we know that we can offer a set of services with a secure node network, and our node operators can be paid for them. So are we considering any plans to have external organizations from Zen to be able to use the secure node architecture? So sort of like a fee for service model. And I can say that it's something that I'm very interested in, and we've been discussing actually some stuff. Some things that come to mind quite readily are, kind of like letting people rent our computational capacity on the network, because we have, we're approaching 7,000 nodes on the network. We have a lot of computing power just sitting there right now, performing some critical tasks of the project. But there is a lot of spare capacity. So the question is, how do we use that spare capacity in a way that increases the value of our brand, our project, but also gives another income opportunity to our operators? So there's some interesting stuff there to think about, and we just don't have any firm plans to really announce right now.
And what's the status of Zen Hide? All right, that's a great question. So Zen Hide is the ability to use domain fronting to be able to allow people that are within places that are firewalled off to be able to access the Zen cache network. And it uses something like Cloudflare or Amazon or Google content distribution network. So the wallet will look like it's connecting to, I don't know, Google or something like that. And then on the second pass, it'll actually connect to a secure node. And the first step in getting that done is having a large network of nodes that have TLS certificate, SSL certs. So we now have a large network of secure nodes in place that have SSL certificates, as well as we have encrypted transport between each of them. So the laying the groundwork for being able to do Zen Hide and the domain fronting is there now, and we just added some channels, a channel in the Discord to talk about domain fronting, and I seeded it with a couple of links where people can look and give examples on how to do domain fronting. So what we're looking to do is say, okay, well, how can we actually get these nodes to connect through a content distribution network to a SSL certificate based node? And so we're going to do some experimenting on it. We encourage everybody in the community to do experimenting on that as well.
Yeah, and I'll add, so Joseph Nicholas has already put together some preliminary specifications for the system. So we are moving forward on it. Another question, are DApps a prerequisite for the DAO? I would say no. Actually, the prerequisite for the DAO is basically the prototyping R&D that IOHK is doing right now. So really the way that process is going to work is they're building the voting system that will comprise the first element of our DAO into the protocol. So they're going to be providing to us at the end of the research project a prototype system, that then we will pass off to another engineering team to implement that into our protocol. So the fact that we have these other apps running on top of the secure node network really isn't part of that, but it obviously could have some interesting interactions in the future on potentially having the DAO interact with some of these D apps.
Okay, so a question I'll take here. What's the status of enabling shielded transactions by leveraging the secure node so mobile wallets can have private transactions and private messaging? And that's actually two separate things. So the mobile wallet uses the Zencash JavaScript library that's in our repository, and it's not set up to use to be able to do shielded transactions because it accesses a server remotely that has the full blockchain. So to be able to do actual shielded transactions on a lightweight wallet, which is what we're looking to do, there's some research that's being done, but basically you end up needing to offload the trust from your wallet to the server that you're accessing, and there's not really a good way to do that yet. So there's a couple different workarounds that we're looking at doing. One is to have a mobile application that will remotely and securely access a full node that you're running. So say you had a full node at a VPS or at a data center or something like that. If you're able to control your own node remotely, then you might have the ability to do shielded transactions and messages on a mobile device or a lightweight wallet. If there's a way that we could figure out how to do that with the secure node network and the lightweight wallets, I think that would be good. And we'll have to put the research for that onto the roadmap. Rob, you see any other questions?
I don't. But I do know that we have a really cool video coming up.
Yeah. Let's switch over to that. And I'm going to probably hit the limit of my broadcast streaming capabilities here. Give me just 1 second on it. All right, let's flip over to the video. And this is, you want to tee this up a little, Rob?
Yeah, so this video, I have to say, David and his team did an incredible job putting together. They just went out there and they realized we need more video content. We need really basic explanatory video content. So we now have a whole pipeline of these types of videos that we have in various stages of production. But David and his team just went out there and just knocked out, I think, a brilliant first version for us. So lo and behold, Rolf, do you want to get this?
Yeah, let's roll it. See how this goes.
Yeah.
What is Zencash? It is the world's most decentralized and anonymous blockchain platform for money, media, and messaging. With its over 6,000 end-to-end encrypted secure node network worldwide, Zencash ensures that the owner's digital assets, communications, and publications remain fully secure and anonymous from the unwanted third parties. From the industry's leading ZK Snarks protocol to TLS integration and domain fronting, Zencash is applying the best privacy technologies to its blockchain to ensure full privacy, anonymity, and safety of its users. But Zencash is not just about the privacy. With its recent and first-of-its-kind R&D partnership with IOHK, the world's leading blockchain research firm, Zencash is solving the biggest needs in blockchain industry today, such as exponentially increasing scalability via applying directed acyclic graph or DAG-based Spectre solution and implementing protocol-level treasury and voting system to create the first digital model of true democracy. With no pre-mining, no ICOs, and fixed lifetime coin amount of 21 million, Zencash is engineered to last and constantly grow the value. Interested to hear more? Visit our website, zencash.com, to learn more about Zencash. Zencash, your privacy guardian in blockchain space.
Yeah, that was a great video. As you can see, it's still a draft. We're getting the final version this week, and then you'll start seeing it out there soon. All righty. Well,
awesome.
I think that's a good wrap up for today. Honor hosting was an honor hosting this with you, Rob, and we'll see everybody else in 2 weeks.
Likewise. Thank you, Rolf, and thank you to everyone for joining us.
Yep. Thanks. Talk to y'all later.